Hey everybody, hello, 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 Anita, hello, Doctor, hello, Sandra Anne Taylor, and hello, who are joining us on Facebook Live or YouTube or Instagram, wherever you are out there in the world. So I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm John Holland, psychic medium, spiritual teacher, and we have Anita. Like I said, hey, Anita.
Hi, John. It's
Hello,
good to
Dr.
be
Jeffrey.
here.
Thank you, Anita. Dr. Jeffrey.
Greetings,
Hello.
glad to be here.
So I love having a doctor part of this too, because you know what I love, everyone, is when spirituality meets science, right? The two together. And then we have the lovely Sandra Anne Taylor. Hello, Sandra.
Hello, dear.
Yeah. Um, we wanted to come on here and we titled this Beyond the Veil, right? Try to get four people together. And I was telling them behind the scenes that when I started doing mediumship many years ago, people were just happy with getting a reading or hearing from their loved one. But I think lately something's shifting even more so. People are asking more questions about the soul. Does the soul go on? Is there an afterlife? Can I communicate with loved ones on the other side? Do we reincarnate? Another one I love is, so if we reincarnate, is my loved one still on the other side? And more people, if you notice, are coming together to talk about their near-death experience, hence Anita Moorjani. What happens when you go to the other side? And what happens when you come back? So these questions of the afterlife, is my loved one okay? Past life regression, near-death experience. These questions have been asked, I believe, guys, don't you agree, for centuries, right? By philosophers, religious leaders, teachers, gurus. So they've been asking and still asking, and we got four experts here. All right, four experts for this chat that we have today, Beyond the Veil. And if you think about it too, when I started doing work as a medium and people started coming through, I got more curious about the soul. What is the soul? And I always teach people, you're a soul that comes with a body, not a body that comes with the soul. Think about it. You're a soul that comes with the body, not a body that comes with the soul. We think that we have a body, we have no, it's the other way around. You came from that beautiful place, from the other side, came here, and you're going to go to the other side. So the soul is all about the continuity of life, that it goes on. And when I wrote my book, Power of the Soul, years ago, I wanted people to realize that a lot of people think that discarnate means the soul on the other side. You are a soul incarnate right now. You have as much ability and special ability, all that goes with it, your soul senses, your psychic senses. I don't think everyone, how much for the team here, how amazing you really, really are as a soul. And that's why we wanted to come together to talk a little bit about the continuity of the soul. And I know that when I've done soul survival at Omega, Brian Weiss started that many years ago. It's a favorite there. He pulled me into this. It's called Soul Survival, the discovery and exploration of the continuity of the soul. When he brought me on there, I've been a guest of Soul Survival for years with all kinds of speakers, where they have the doctors, near-death experience, past life people. So I've been honored. We'll talk about that in a second too. But I know when I'm working with people, especially when it comes to the Soul Survival weekend, is I try to show them that you can have a connection to the other side. You have soul senses, your natural psychic ability. If you tune those up, you can be a better antenna for those messages on the other side. And of course, at every Omega demonstration or talk that I do, I end with mediumship also. So those are the questions that are being asked now. And even though there's plenty out there, here's a chance for us to get together right now for all of you, right, to talk a little bit about this. And I found it fascinating that Dr. Jeffrey Long, and Anita knows him really, really well. That's a whole nother story. We'll get into that. But Dr. Jeffrey Long is a radiologist, oncologist, right? If I said that, doctor, you will correct me, okay? And I hear somebody's computer. That's okay. It must be the other side. It could be my mother coming through.
Yes,
it could be
it
my
is.
mother coming through. But Dr. Jeffrey Long, it's been my first time meeting him, and he has the biggest near-death experience website, which is fantastic. And the founder, it is just you, doctor, right? The founder of NDERF, Near Death Experience Research Foundation, the biggest website, and that's .org for him. Doctor, how did you, I love having a medical doctor part of this team with the science and medicine. How did you get started with near-death experience? I thought maybe he had his own, but it's a little knowledge here too. Yes.
Yeah, great question. Decades ago, I was doing my studies for my medical specialty and looking through one of the biggest medical journals in the world, Journal of the American Medical Association. So there I am flipping through the pages and quite by accident saw an article that had the phrase near-death experience in it. I'd never heard of it before.
Yeah.
Well, I read the whole article and was immediately fascinated. I mean, how can you not be curious about what happens when you die? But here was a cardiologist that had several dozen people that had near-death experiences, and what they saw in that out-of-body state during near-death experience, pinpoint accurate down to finest details. And then several years later, I had a college friend and his wife visiting me, and over our meal that we were sharing, she shared vividly the first near-death experience I'd ever heard in person. And I was just blown away and said, look, the researcher in me is fascinated. Real, this changes my view of the universe. And then sometime after that, I started the Near-Death Experience Research Foundation, just as you described in the URL there. We now have over 4,000 near-death experiences that have been shared in greater than 25 years on that website.
Wow. Doctor, is there one thing, and I know Anita can address this also, with all this research, which you said decades, you seem too young to say decades, but you said, okay, I love you.
Yeah.
Is there one commonality for I know I've worked with Anita before too, many times, so I know what she has to say about her visit to the other side. Is there one thing with all this research that you've done that people come back with? Is there words, special words that they come back with? Is there one or two things that you see, there it is again, there it is again?
Yeah, again, another great question. Now, while no two near-death experiences are the same, both me and other researchers that study near-death experience see a remarkably consistent pattern of what occurs during the near-death experience, and typically in very consistent order. There's a multitude of things that to me bespeak the reality of near-death experiences, but some of the strongest evidence is what we call veridical perception. Often early in a near-death experience, there's an out-of-body state, consciousness above the physical body, and yet the physical body, while it's unconscious or clinically dead, has consciousness above it, and what they report, what they see, what they hear is almost invariably accurate. Above and beyond that, we've had people that are legally blind and even completely blind reporting highly visual near-death experiences.
Wow.
As with the first near-death experience I saw, they can occur while you're under general anesthesia. And of course, the heart stopping there, very well documented, and boom, these are very typical near-death experiences, same degree of lucidity. So this is all, and then of course the after effects, how people's lives change after their near-death experience. I published the largest study of what we call after effects of near-death experience last year. And again, remarkably consistent changes in terms of decreased fear of death, increased belief in an afterlife, God, and interestingly, a dramatically increased level of compassion in people that have had near-death experience. That's just literally a microcosm of the many, many different lines of evidence, all converging on understanding that near-death experiences are, in a word, real.
Yeah, and Dr. Jeffrey Long, also in New York, they're all these three speakers that I'm blessed to be with are New York Times bestseller. And I think when you know that there is an afterlife, I think it matters. Okay, some people are like, so what I do here really matters? Absolutely, absolutely. And when you're lecturing, doctor, because you've lectured on radio, in public, probably at schools, what do you tell stories or people, you give your experiences when you teach, or when you're out there teaching, like maybe at Omega this year?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I mean, with the website with over 4,000 near-death experiences, by the way, are free and publicly accessible. So I don't really focus so much on the stories, even though that is foundational to the research I do.
Right.
People like Anita and others have got just amazing near-death experiences to share. But my niche has always been research. We sort of compile what is the strongest lines of evidence for the reality of near-death experiences, what makes them extraordinary experiences. And my research is focusing more and more on the spiritual aspects of near-death experiences, the content where people come back with, as we mentioned, a higher level of compassion, increased belief in an afterlife, increased belief in God, increased belief in the meaning and purpose of our earthly lives. And so we're studying more and more of these remarkably consistent messages that are directly relevant to each and every one of us living our earthly life.
Beautiful. And Miss Anita Moorjani, friend, colleague, I love your saying, I think it should be a tweet quote. She said once at one of the lectures that I was with her, probably a Soul Survival, when you said, you don't have to die to begin living. That was fascinating, Anita. And I assume that was yours because it was perfect. I'm like, okay, there's a quote that's going to go down in history. So, hi, Anita. So, tell us about yourself.
Hi, John.
Experience.
Thank you. Yes. So I had my near-death experience in 2006. I was in a coma as a result of end-stage cancer, end-stage lymphoma. And my body had shut down. My organs had shut down. And I weighed about 85 pounds.
Wow.
And so I was in this coma, and the doctors said that I wasn't going to come out of the coma, that these were my final hours. I had lymphoma that had metastasized throughout my whole body. I had tumors the size of golf balls from the base of my skull, all around my neck, under my arms, in my chest, all the way down to my abdomen at that time. But while I was in the coma, unbeknownst to everyone around me, I left my body. And so I was able to see or be aware. I didn't have physical eyes from that perspective, but I had this awareness. So I was aware of my physical body lying on the hospital bed and my family who were around me, who were distraught. And I wanted to communicate to my family to tell them, actually, I feel fine. I feel amazing. I wanted them to know that I feel better now than I've ever felt before. Because while I was in the physical body, the last few years, while I was dealing with the illness, I had so much pain and so much discomfort and so much fear. I'd spent a lifetime being afraid of death, being afraid of illness, and generally lived a life filled with fear. And here now, I just felt incredible. And I could see my family were distraught, and I could see the doctor and hear the doctor telling my family that I'm not even going to make it through the night. And then I went on to have this, what I call an amazing near-death experience, which I could talk about forever, but I'll just give people a few of the things that really impacted me. First of all, in that state, my life actually made sense for the first time. I understood why I had come into this physical body. And I understood that I was meant to live a life of love, not fear, because I had been so fearful and always living from this space of high stress and high fear and in this fight or flight mode. There was a sort of like, the only way I can articulate it is there was no room in my life for love. It's almost like fear takes up that space. And this is something I've carried with me after the NDE, after coming back. No matter how fearful the world feels, I know that every time I feel fear, it's just a call for me to love more and see where I can expend more love, receive more love, exchange more love. So, and it's unfortunate we live in a world right now where fear is being spread faster than love. So I've made it my mission to remind people we are made of love. We're souls, we're made of love. So while I was in that state, I also reached a point where I was given a choice as to whether I wanted to come back or not. No part of me wanted to come back because it was so beautiful there. But I received the message that my purpose wasn't complete. And so I did make the decision that I needed to go back because my purpose wasn't complete. So I made the decision to come back. And when I did, my body healed very quickly. And very shortly after that, this was in 2006, interestingly, I didn't know what to do with what I had experienced because it was so hard to explain that I just wrote and wrote and wrote about it. And then I discovered the NDERF site that belongs to Dr. Jeffrey Long. I submitted it to his site, and that's how I got to know Dr. Jeffrey Long. And he was so instrumental because from there, my story went viral and was discovered by Wayne Dyer.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I've seen Anita speak from the beginning of her career, everyone. And when I met her at the office get together, and I said, Anita, wait a minute. I talked to the other side. You've been there. There must be something we can do together to work. And she said, absolutely. But It's not just your near-death experiences, also, Anita, that you talk about, which is lovely, and with the lessons that you've learned and how you got there and how your life changed. But her teaching right now, everyone, especially I've seen this in the past few years, is unbelievably teaching about the consciousness and about how this life matters, everyone. That's the most important part. So wonderful speaker. And Anita also will be one of the guests at Soul Survival, October 17th through the 19th, which is going to be at Omega, but we'll talk about that. And Sandra Anne Taylor, quantum physics is her thing. She New York Times bestseller. And she also, very, Sandra, you've been doing spirituality, spiritual work for many, many years. But what did you discover with your past life? Everyone wants to know, have I lived before? Why does this seem familiar? Is there reincarnation? Do we go back and forth? Is it a recycle bin? How does this happen? What have you discovered with your research on past lives?
Well, we have definitely lived before. We have absolutely. Reincarnation is an expression of quantum physics. Energy doesn't end. It just changes.
Right.
And when we come back to the physical body, our energy is slightly different, although what you said is very true. We are spirit inhabiting a physical body. We never become less spirit. We are as spirit as we'll ever be. But then we go through this life and we pick up experiences. And what happens is the consciousness encodes the reactions from those experiences, the emotions, the expectations, the difficulties, the joys. And the soul longs to come back to experience the joys and and also to be with friends and family and express itself and serve. But it also wants to come to learn its lessons. And that's what brings us back a lot of the times. That's what reincarnation is about. And so if we have a lesson, it becomes encoded in our consciousness. And we bring that consciousness, even the past life, comes back. And so we have this ability to change things. And we are not stuck. And so if people wonder, why do I keep hitting the same pattern? You know, I keep having money problems. I keep having relationship problems. I keep having health problems. It's because it's a part of our consciousness code. And I've had so many clients, I mean, countless clients. And that's where my research is more in the cases. But I do study the quantum physics of the energy. But, like I had this man who was constantly up against a wall money-wise. He was living paycheck to paycheck, though he was a pretty smart guy and really working very hard, but he couldn't just break through after years. And so he came to me and I said, let's look at a past life. And what we found out was he had many, many, many past lives of servitude. Servitude, he got either little or no pay for all his work. And during those lives, could feel in his consciousness hopelessness, feelings of this is all I can expect from the world. And even then, a lack of deserving. And he brought that into this life without even knowing it. So there's an easy way to change this. It's called rescripting. You can rewrite the story and change the beliefs that are under it. That's what the lesson is all about. I am deserving. I can expect better. I can believe in myself arriving at higher levels of achievement. And that's what we did. We rewrote every life that we found, and little by little, he kept getting promotions and more money. And now he's retired with the house in Hilton Head.
They still have the experience, but they're rewriting the lessons that were meant to be learned. I mean, is that what you're saying?
Say again?
The experience still happens in the past, right? But
yes.
You're rewriting the lessons, that there's a way to learn the different lesson from that experience.
Yes, and the lesson is always it brings in a philosophical, emotional, psychological component. It's not just, I've got to work harder. It's like I have to believe in myself. And all these go down to what Anita was talking about, the depth of the soul and what her experience an epiphany that cured her in the realization of I am eternal and I am valuable and I don't have to fear and I don't have to doubt and I don't have to feel lacking. So you can go beyond this and break through. I've had people with love problems, health problems, but it's not just for breaking difficult things. We can look at past lives to find out our purpose. We can look at past lives to discover new talents and enhance our present talents,
That's
and
right.
even meet past life guides that can help to inspire us. And I have so many stories about that. I had one woman who was an artist, and she had nice art, and it was all pretty much the same, and it wasn't selling that much. And so she came in for a past life reviewing, and we looked at it, and I heard that she was Monet's brush boy. That's the phrase I heard. I know it was in French, but I heard brush boy, and I said, you actually worked with Monet. You were a little boy or a teenager, and you were in charge of cleaning his brushes and cleaning the studio. And so I said, do you know that Monet is a past life guide for you now? And she's like, no, why would someone famous be a past life guide for me? And I said, don't you get it? The people that did the same activities, love those activities, and want to still express through those activities. So that's one reason. The second reason is you were connected in that life. And so she opened up to the belief about that, and she really meditated and let in some guidance, and it shifted the way she was doing her art. And now her art is in high-end galleries all over the world.
Beautiful. So it is possible. And when we let me just talk about also that, the special gathering that we're having at Omega. I've been invited many times, started by Dr. Brian Weiss, and Raymond Moody's been part of it. Joan Borisenko's been part of it. Suzanne North has been part of it. And they asked after COVID, John, would you like to bring it back? And I said, absolutely. That's why we've done this. And for this year, that's why I managed lucky enough to get these beautiful people part of this. And I think with myself, I always want people to leave Omega from that experience. It's a transformative experience. It's like a little soul retreat. I always say, sometimes you got to step out of your life, sometimes to look at it. So being at Omega in the fall, October 17th through the 19th, and we'll pop up the website there too. But I think when you walk away, there's a calmness, there's a knowingness, there is we all take you on. Oh my God. Speaking of journey, that's fine. Oh, and by the way, animals go to the other side too, everyone, okay? It's not just your life. Okay, that's fine. It's right. This is reality, guys, okay? With the echoing, everything's fine, right? But when you leave Omega too, with the experience that the research that Dr. Jeffrey shares, Anita's experience, and it's not just her telling about her experience, she takes you through different experiences. And Sandra Anne Taylor, when she takes you back to a past life, the lessons to be learned, the rescripting that you can do, and to bring out your soul gifts, your soul purpose that you have is amazing. So Omega, October 17th through the 19th, okay, of this year, and you get all four of us, and I will be doing a mediumship demonstration talking about how you can connect to your loved ones, the signs that they show you. Anita talks all about signs also, Dr. Jeffrey Long, and I'm curious too about his research. It'll be my first time watching him speak, but I find it fascinating that, same thing. I don't want to ask now, we'll say that for Omega. Do we always have the choice to come back if you have a near-death experience? I know Anita had the choice, right? I'd be curious for the ones that come back. And when I do my work, everyone, just to sum this up, it's not just by my experience, okay, of people from the other side. I love and honor the people that have passed away, God bless you, who come back and tell us, so this is what it's like on the other side. This is what I saw. This is what I've learned and brought back to this life. And Dr. Jeffrey, with his 4,000 stories on the NDERF.org site too, huge. I went on there, Doctor. I was like, amazing. And it's all free. And he does it. Why, everyone? This is our purpose. This is what we love doing. Our purpose is to serve. Dr. You and a medical doctor on top of it, and Anita and Sandra Anne Taylor and myself, John Holland, to serve you, to show you that your loved ones are okay. There is an afterlife. There is continuity of the soul. But but this life matters also. Yeah. So I think I summed that up, guys, right? Anything you want to add, Anita or Jeffrey or Sandra?
Yeah, you hit it.
I think I did. Yes,
You
I
hit
did.
it.
Yep.
You nailed it.
You can go to johnholland.com, NDERF.org, Doctor, right? Correct? Anita Moorjani. And Sandra, what is yours?
SandraTaylor.net.
Okay, very good. Laura was so good in the background. So hopefully, guys, the seats are going, but come join us in the fall. It's going to be the last event at Omega for the year. We'll take care of you. You'll leave, I think, transformed a little, yeah? And you'll take it back to your loved ones, and you'll be a little more sure of the afterlife and what happens. And I think this is it's not just near-death stuff, everyone. I think it's for people that have lost people that are interested in past lives, people who are interested in the research and the science, because we get those science people that show up too at these things, which I love. So it's for the curious. It's for you knowing the continuity of the soul. And we are honored to serve you October 17th through the 19th. JohnHolland.com. You saw the URL there. Hope to see you all there, everyone. Okay, so everyone, Sandra, Dr. Jeffrey Long, thank you. Anita Moorjani, now go have a beautiful day. And as I always say, do one kind act, because it creates a ripple effect that reaches farther than you could ever imagine. John Holland out, Sandra Anne Taylor, Anita Moorjani, Dr. Jeffrey Long. Can't wait to see you soon, guys. Talk to you later. Have a great day.
Can't wait.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.